We are back with Cole Hutson. Heard tomorrow is a pretty big day, not only because of the draft, but also your birthday.
Yep.
So any big plans you have today, tomorrow? What's going on in Vegas here this weekend for the Hutson family?
Yeah, I mean, nothing. We're all just hanging out, kind of living with the flow a little bit and just enjoying the time and kind of the hot weather.
Yeah, everyone comes to Vegas just to relax, right? That's a known thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You're underage for sure.
How many friends and family you got here?
Not too many here right now, but I got quite a few coming.
Both your brothers in town, Lane and Quinn. A little disappointed they didn't come with you to the interview. I'm not feeling the BU love from those two right now, but we'll deal with that at a later date. What's that been like for you? You know, kind of following in both of their footsteps. But I mean, look, you and Lane are the defensemen. You just took his points. You took his points record down at BU and you became the all-time point guy. I mean, sorry, at the national team. What's that relationship like and maybe a little bit of a rivalry? Because I've been on TV all year saying you guys haven't seen anything. We still have the best Hutson yet to come. And I mean, I'm talking about Lars, but I guess you're pretty good too, right? But just kidding. What's that sort of rivalry and brotherly relationship and competitiveness been like for you with, Lane in particular?
Yeah, I mean, we grew up skating together pretty much every single day, and every day out there we'd be battling our hardest. And honestly, we kind of hated each other growing up because we were so similar. But I mean, kind of grew out of it a little bit, and we respect each other a lot. And he's a really good player.
What are the differences in your guys' game? Because you both put up a lot of points, but having watched you at the U18s a little bit throughout the season, I know even the U18s last year they brought you up to play multiple U18 championships over your time at national team. And for those of you who don't really necessarily know how that program works, you start with the U17 team first year, and then there's the U18 team. And the big event is the U18 World Championship. And Cole was, brought up to U18s. How did you play the second half of the season with U18s?
Half, yeah.
Right. So it's basically like a guy who's an underage player getting called up for that, just to explain to everyone. But
we'll brag for you.
What are the differences? Because again, I feel like you guys get the same result, but you go about it in a very different way.
Yeah, I mean, getting called as a team was probably one of the best things that's happened to me in my career so far, and I learned a lot from guys like Will Smith, Gabe Perreault, and Ryan Leonard. Some of the best,
pretty good players,
a lot of BC guys.
I mean, they're some of the best forwards that aren't in the NHL right now. But yeah, I mean, learning a lot from them and especially the gold medal. There's no better feeling than that. I mean, taking that into the next year and with all the experience we already had, we knew what we were getting into, and unfortunately it didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but it was a blast.
So you won 2 years ago, and then this year, it didn't go your guys' way.
Cole, I don't know if you're familiar with our show or not, but I asked the hard hitters and the serious questions around here. So I got a tough one for you if you're ready for it. Just channel your brain for a second. I was talking to my buddy Henry Graham, who played at BU last year. Said you're a big gamer. Did you bring your Xbox to Vegas with you? Is it even an Xbox? Is it PlayStation 5 now?
I did bring my Xbox.
You did?
I'm not unpacking it now.
No way.
Just because I'm going to BU right after this.
Okay.
So it's just chilling in my suitcase right now. But yeah, I play a lot of Xbox.
Not going to ease the mind tonight, play a little Xbox to calm the nerves a bit?
Not a chance, though.
Will you tell the crowd your gamer tag, or is that kind of like no? Okay.
He doesn't need
got a small crew.
Yeah. Right.
So what's the schedule? So draft and then a development camp and then BU for semester.
Exactly,
yeah. And you already know who you're living with and stuff at BU. All that's planned out. Classes picked.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you is Quinn gonna go and take classes as well this summer?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And Lane or no?
No.
He's not. He's gonna go.
He's clocked out for a while.
He's gonna focus on hockey for a little bit. What school are you going into at BU?
Intro to hospitality.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Is that like School of Arts and Sciences?
I think so. I have no
okay.
clue.
Yeah. This guy's a hockey player. Okay. Listen, I get it. Honestly, I went to BU for 3 years. I don't even know where the library is at BU. So I remember one time I got a class on my schedule that Colin Wilson was in that class with me. I don't know if you remember watching him play for Nashville, Colorado, or whatever. He was one of my classmates at BU. We booked this class that supposedly was like an easy A, right? And it was in the library, and we were living in Student Village, so like next to Aganis at the time. And we were like, where's the library? We have no idea, because all the other buildings have like, you know, the address, and the library, we're like, but the library's big. Like they have classes at the, we had no idea. So we just dropped the class. Like, we had
this is not advice, by the way.
We got to find a class that's not at the library, because we couldn't find it. So hopefully you'll have better luck than me. But at the end of the day, like on Fridays, like make sure you don't book classes on Fridays. Like Fridays are game days at BU.
Yeah, I definitely didn't.
So still a Bruins fan, or how does that work?
Yeah,
come tomorrow.
Still Bruins
even with
fan.
Lane in Montreal, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even more now, right?
Yeah, probably even more now. I mean, I could care less where he went. Obviously, Montreal was a really good spot for him, but I'm not going to bandwagon for Montreal now. Bruins have always been my favorite and always will.
So tomorrow you're not picked by Boston, let's say. Does that go out the window, or are you still going to hold on to it a little bit in your heart?
I'd say half and half,
okay.
a little bit. Yeah. I mean, going to BU, you still got to be a little bit of a Bruins fan. I'm sure I'll go to a few games during the year, but whatever team picks me, I'll definitely be on their side. I'd hope
you'll quickly learn to love the logo of the hat that you get tomorrow for sure. Your allegiances will change. I grew up a diehard Flyers fan, and when they skipped me at 23 and like 41, and I went a couple picks later, and that was the day my Flyers logo that I had as a little kid in my heart completely died. Completely died. It just, see you later. You know, no more orange and black for me. So we'll see. We'll catch up with you again at some point this year, and we'll have to ask you that question again.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though. Now I feel like it's different with all the brothers in the league that you see. Like Brady Tkachuk's fully at games, like rooting for Matthew, and I think that's, you know, changed a little bit now. Like you can obviously root for your brother. I think that's allowed, and no one will bat an eye. But it's always funny, like hearing kids talk about their siblings, where they get drafted and whatnot, then hearing how those rivalries play out, and then actually seeing you play against your brother for the first time. I know it's a little bit further ahead, but have you imagined that in your brain at all? What that?
Well, they played against each other last year.
Well, I meant in the NHL.
Did he play in that game in the exhibit?
Yeah,
where you guys thumped them?
I mean, yeah. He was definitely on the ice for a good amount of games.
Was he like a -4 that night?
Yeah,
so I was thinking -4 too. That's funny.
Cole Eisenman was talking about that game, and he was like, "Yeah, but then we got our asses kicked in the next night by Dartmouth, so we couldn't talk too much shit after that."
Yeah, we did get our asses kicked a little bit, but all we remember is the first night, kind of.
But back to like what I was kind of asking before Colby rudely interrupted. Do you have that image in your head of like, you know, first time suiting up against your brother in the NHL? Obviously, it's a little hard to the jersey you're wearing.
It's so far away. I can't even really think about that. Yeah, I've more really thought about maybe playing with them. I mean, growing up our whole life, I've kind of been on the same team with them against Quinn and Lars, so we kind of got some built-in chemistry a little bit. So that'll be the most fun part about it.
Well, and honestly, I said this a lot last year, and I would talk to your dad about this. You know, Lane, obviously, you know, the fact that he didn't end up with a Hobie Baker in college it's kind of bizarre. Obviously, last year was a little different. I think the year before he probably should have won the award, but you know, Quinn was a big driver for that team. Like when Quinn scores goals, that team wins. And so are we gonna, you know, the connection between those two on the power play at BU? I mean, Lane looked for him, you know, and he knew like, okay, like I got to get him going. Maybe Quinn, okay, I got to get Lane, like I got to feed him. Do you and Quinn have that relationship and that sort of, you know, chemistry and connection that we saw from those two, or TBD on that? Or
I mean, I hope so. We've been scrimmaging all summer together, and we've been connecting on a few pretty cool ones. So we're hoping to bring it to life in games too.
You want to say something?
I was just going to ask what the week is, what this process has been like for you. You know, whether it's this week, whether it's the combine, the meetings. You know, we asked Cole Eiserman anything bizarre, any teams asked you, or anything catch you off guard, or you know, what has this really process been like for you? Is it what you thought or expected, or completely different?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lane went through it all, so I kind of got the head start on everyone, knowing what was coming, but at the same time, he kind of wanted to let me learn on my own and deal with all this stuff and find my own way a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, there were some pretty weird questions at the combine.
Like what?
Do you have Uber? Because Cole Eiserman doesn't.
One? Yeah, he didn't. He doesn't have Uber. He said he doesn't have an Uber rating. He said he's never used it. His brothers chauffeur him around.
Yeah, I mean, my brothers do too, but I think I've had to Uber on my own like 3 or 4 times. But
that's funny.
I hope it's like closer to 5-star. I mean,
did they ask you this? No team asked you?
I didn't hear that one. No.
What about the Snapchat thing? Did you get that one?
No, but I'd be fine on that one.
You're not a Snapchat guy. Are you you use social media at all?
I mean, yeah, like Instagram here and there, I'll go on it, but Snapchat, I just don't use it that much.
You got your Instagram caption ready to go for tomorrow or what? Or
no, I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah, other guys, you'd be surprised. Last year, who was it? Will Smith was a big Instagram caption guy, and I think he told me he had it like his caption in the draft.
The Hutson boys are like sleeping in their hockey equipment. These guys are not worried about social media. Rob Hutson has these guys all dialed, ready to take over the hockey world.
But with that too, we asked Cole Eisman before, like, is it weird turning on the TV and like hearing your name talked about? Like, is that something you'll ever get used to? It's going to happen more and more now as the years come.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's pretty surreal, but I mean, you still got a job to do on the ice, and if you get too ahead of yourself, that'll go the wrong way.
Has there been like one moment where you were like watching NHL Network or something and see your own highlight come on? You're like, oh shit.
I mean, no, sometimes like you see it on Instagram here and there. I mean, some accounts like post about it, and maybe you'll see like a goal you scored in the past year and or something like that. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool to see. Like,
he still sends his goals to our group chat like once a week.
I love that.
See,
it's really me. I do it.
Yeah, he literally stalks my history on the internet and puts it into our group chat, and I just ignore him most of the time anyway. Like literally, he'll call me and I answer the phone. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you
like
want?
9 o'clock on a Tuesday? Like a perfectly normal
I'm like, I
hour.
have a kid. I'm going to bed. Why are you bothering me at 9 p.m.? Our show ended 12 hours ago in the morning. Talk a little bit about where you are in this whole process as far as the rankings and all this stuff, because look, I mean, I watch you play. I'd be pretty confident to bet we're going to hear your name called tomorrow night, right? But Lane has been through this process where, I mean, I think there's a lot of teams that are sure kicking themselves in the ass that they didn't call his name earlier. I mean, look what he did in college. Look at the way that he absolutely toyed with Division I hockey. He goes right into the NHL at the end of the year and plays the exact same way. People are like, oh, is Lane going to be able to do this in the NHL? Well, yeah, we watched him do it in the NHL for what, 3-4 games, was it?
It was 2.
It was 2. Okay, but still, he didn't miss a beat the way he gets across the blue line, the way he holds onto the puck. Like, it's funny to watch sometimes. I mean, you're falling into a similar category. You are. And maybe teams, I can't imagine teams are going to make the same mistake because it's like, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. You butchered that so hard. They're going to screw themselves here. Shut up. So like, is this stressful? Is it, exciting? I mean, how does it feel? Look, personally was in a similar situation as you. Ranked sort of in the mid-first round by the whole, the draft experts. We can save that for a different, central scouting has become such a useless tool for the game of hockey. It's because they don't actually work. You have all these independent guys that actually work and watch film. And then you have central scouting who just feels like they need to create controversy and, make themselves feel important. Again, we could save that for a different day.
Doesn't seem like you want to.
Where are you? Like, how are you feeling about all that? Because you kind of do fall into that range. Like, we could hear you go at 15. We could hear you at 20. Or, maybe it's 32, 33. So, that's a tough situation kind of to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like clueless on where I'm going to get called, obviously, like other people as well. I mean, after watching Lane going through it, he was stressed the whole first day. I'm hoping I don't have to do the walk of shame back to the hotel after the first night.
I did that. I've been there, and it sucks, and it gave me a chip on my shoulder. I think it probably gave Lane a lot of motivation, right?
But I mean, yeah, I'm going into it just kind of loose a little bit and not going to stress about it at all. So just trying to enjoy the time here and have fun with it.
And very few players, like for where Lane and the way it works with rookie contracts is like, there's maxes you can get. Lane got them all. He must have a good agent, and he was a pretty good player. But he got them all. So where he got drafted ended up meaning absolutely nothing. Literally, he's one of the very few guys that it meant nothing.
But is there chirping going on with you two about who's going to get picked higher? There's got to be a little bit of that.
Definitely not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But,
well, I meant like you talking shit.
What did he go? 62nd overall?
Yeah.
62nd was the number, right?
So if I go before that, there'll definitely be
let him hear
family bragging rights.
But I mean, nothing too crazy.
Quinn will just come in from the top rope and, you know, drop the elbow on you all. He's the elder statesman of the group, right? And then Lars, we've got a fourth brother that, I mean, listen, when are we going to see? Are we going to see him at BU in a couple of years or what?
Yeah, I hope so. He's got to put on some weight and maybe grow a little bit. But I mean, we were all pretty small at his age, but he's definitely the skinniest of us all. So if he puts on a little bit of weight, he'll be just fine.
Where's he going to play next year? Do we know?
Team Illinois.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's.
Is that breaking news?
He was thinking about and maybe he was going to play a little juniors or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he might get a few games.
Which should be pretty cool for him. But yeah, I mean, the Hutson factory, it just continues to continue, Johnny.
I just got one more for you, Cole. We don't want to keep you too long when you're busy, but this whole draft this year is just so different than any year previously. I mean, the sphere itself, like, is it hard to imagine just like walking on stage there and what you'll be looking at? Like, I actually have never been inside, so I don't even know what to expect, but I got to imagine, we asked Cole Eisman if there's like a rehearsal or anything, probably a dumb question on my part, but
most people just expect that out of you.
But when you imagine the draft in the sphere, like, to you, is that a cooler experience, or do you almost wish you had the normal arena feel and walking on stage and shaking Gary saying, what?
What a stupid question. Right. Who cares where it is?
I don't know, man.
This guy's about to get drafted in the NHL. He could be in the middle of the Sahara Desert. You hear your name, you hear your name.
Yeah,
just ignore it. Yeah.
See?
Yep.
Listen,
all right, let's let him go.
BU guys stick together. You're never gonna put a wedge between a couple of BU guys. It just doesn't work that way.
Just say the sphere will be sick, and
yeah, the sphere will be sick.
Yeah.
Really cool.
We've got your coaches coming on tomorrow. We've got Jay Pandolfo and Joe Pereira going to come on the show tomorrow. He's leaving me because he's got to go to a bachelor party, so I'm kind of manning solo. But the last thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that we asked Cole Eiserman about you. Obviously, you guys have been teammates at the national team. He said you're a pretty grumpy guy. So I don't know if you want to respond to that, if you want to dispel that. I mean, grumpy. I mean, that's maybe quiet or
smile.
Focused. I mean, I know Hutson boys they're focused, right? You know, you guys are dialed in, but grumpy's a little much.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd know me a little bit better by now, but yeah, I mean, I just got that resting face. It makes me look mad all the time.
Little resting bitch face.
Yeah,
you can stay. We're a YouTube social media show, so you can say.
I got that face, but I'm a happy guy for the most part, and I guess just everyone thinks I'm not.
Well, when you're filling up the points and you're taking down records at the national team, that's when he smiles and winning gold medals. And I know you're gonna have an opportunity to go try out for the World Junior team this summer, you know, and play for that team next year. You were obviously named to that list, which is great. So hopefully you'll be a part of a gold medal group with David Carl and just like Lane was last year. So look, we appreciate your time. We know this is a hectic couple of days with meetings and talking to teams and you know, no more Lou Lamoriello treadmill tests like back in the day, like he used to put guys through. But we appreciate you taking the time. I'm looking forward to watching you play at BU. I mean, I do a lot of those games on TV, and when I don't, you know, Koff and I text all the time, but you know, I watch them all. I love watching the team play, and you know, hopefully we'll all be together in St. Louis next year, and looking for another national championship back at BU to take those guys, the pretty boys, down at Chestnut Hill. So
yeah, we hope.
That's always the plan when you're on ComAF. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck tomorrow. We'll be waiting to hear your name for sure. I think it's gonna come early. You know, I think if teams are smart, they're not gonna make it the same mistake they made with Lane. But at the end of the day, you know, the path has been paved by Lane, and we're excited to watch you go create your own, you know, new Hutson name in you know, the NCAA, and then, you know, onto the NHL in a couple of years.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.